So, how many of us have read our material on the on research? I believe you have some slides on research in your canvas. Is that okay? So yeah, so I want to highlight some things. So your research design, there's something that's called ontology, epistemology, and methodology. So these three things, they must be aligned together. Okay, so ontology is the way one views the world, and there are two schools of thought. The first school of thought, they believe that reality is single, and they are called the positivists. So uh, let me create a new slide. So there are two schools of thought. The first one is the positivist, and then the second one is the interpretivist. So what it means is that if you are doing your research, your research philosophy is either one of these two. Is either one of these two. And then there is the third group that is called the critical realists. So school of thoughts. So these are the three. There are others, but there is no need of bothering you with other ones. But these are the three main ones that you need to understand so that you know where you are coming from. So this thing is also called the philosophy of research. So you can watch videos I will recommend two videos that you watch after this session. So the positivists, they believe that reality is single. Okay, so and they believe in using scientific methods. So if you watch all the projects that majority of the projects that we do on undergraduate, they're all the positive schools. So they use that's the school of thought that believes in uh, quantitative research. Okay, so they believe in using hypotheses. So they believe that reality can be ascertained only through developing hypotheses and then testing hypothesis. So you develop hypothesis and then you test it, see if it's true. Okay. So you if your research is sounding something like what has any of these characteristics, then your assumption is that you are a positivist. Okay. So so if you are writing on your methodology, why I want to emphasize on methodology is because that is the most important section for secondary research because we are doing a secondary research. So now, the secondary research that you are doing, does it involve, do you believe that reality is single? If you believe that reality is single, and then you want to use scientific methods, you want to use numbers, you want to measure some things, you're talking about measurement, some things, parameters, and then you are talking about developing a hypothesis. That means that it's saying that there's a relationship between A and B. Okay, then you are a positivist. Relationship in A and B. Okay, so it means that you are what you are coming from the positivist side. Okay, so now for the interpretivists, they believe that they believe that reality. They believe in multiple reality. Multiple reality. That means That means that there is no single reality. Okay, so that means that there is no single truth. They believe that experiences of people are different and subjective. So they believe that experiences of people are subjective. So here in positivists, they believe that that human experience is objective. So they are objective people. They believe in objectivity. Okay, that is the school of the mathematicians, numbers, all those researches that you hear about, p-value, stuff like that. Anything that involves numbers, those are the positivist side. Okay, so while the let me copy this one. So why the interpretive school, the interpretivists, that's another school of thought, another research philosophy. They believe in multiple reality, okay, multiple reality. They believe that experience of a phenomenon is subjective. They don't believe in objectivity. So subjective experience. So that, let's say, for example, now um, you are doing a research on experience of trauma among prisoners. So they believe that every individual will experience that phenomenon, trauma. Different people will have different um, ways, different accounts of the same phenomenon. Okay, so that means that reality, the truth is not one. So they believe in multiple truths, multiple truths. Okay, so and this is the domain of qualitative research, qualitative research, qualitative research. So how do they collect their data? But if you are doing a qualitative research, you are collecting your data using something like what they use: focus group discussion, focus group discussion. They use interviews, individual and group interviews. Okay. While these positivities, how do they collect their data? They use questionnaires. They use questionnaires. They use that survey. Okay. Questionnaires, survey. Um, what else again? That this is where you will have your randomized control trials. Okay. Randomized control trial. That's, they believe in experiments. So if your research is any of this type, you know that you belong to this group. When you hear cohort study, when you hear which other one? Cohort study, um, case control study, all of them, they are all or they are all example, they are all they are all positivists. Okay. Case control study, case control study. Then when you have cross-sectional study, cross-sectional study. So that you know where the domain of your research is. So if you watch, you see that these things, they all look like what? Primary research, right? Because they are collecting questionnaires and all that, right? So while this one, they use focus group interviews, individual interviews. They do observations. So there are other, so this is all about qualitative research for these people here. Okay, that's how they collect their data. Okay, so the third group, which is important that you know, the third group that is important that you know are the critical realists. The critical realists. The critical realists. So this kind of people. So here is a domain of mixed methods. mixed methods. Mixed methods. That means they are combining the features of the two sides. They are combining both qualitative and quantitative research. Okay, so if you read them, any mixed method studies, so they are combining the strength of qualitative data and they are combining the strength of quantitative data. So now, what is the strength of qualitative data? The strength of qualitative data here is that the data is valid. It can easily validate the data. So validation is easy here. That's the strength. So the strength here is what? That's you can easily validate your data. So validation of data is easy. And what again? It is what? Generalizable, right? Yeah, it is generalizable. Okay, it's generalizable. And then here they use the deductive approach in reasoning. Okay, so you need to know the categories. So this is the deductive approach in reasoning. So that means that if they if they test a hypothesis, initially they will make a guess that there's a relationship between A and B. Now they will collect data and then use SPSS or other statistical softwares to analyze the data, and then maybe get the p-value, and the p-value is significant. So they will now generalize it. So that is deductive reasoning. Okay, based on a case, you now generalize. So, but these people here, the interpretivists, here you have inductive reasoning. Okay, so so you need to know the domain of your research. Okay, so now let us talk about, so having known the research philosophy, having known what is research philosophy here. So this is your research philosophy. You have positivist, you have interpretivist, and then you have critical realist. So we have this is the domain of mixed methods. Also, if you are doing something like qualitative synthesis, okay, if you are doing something like qualitative synthesis, that means that what you are not doing a primary research, you are doing a secondary research. That means you are not collecting data. Okay, so this is more of like if you are doing a review. Okay, if you are doing a review and then you want to look at experiences of a group of people, that means that you're looking at a combination of different qualitative studies that share the experience of a phenomenon. So you want to now synthesize all of them. Okay, so your philosophy here, you are a critical realist. Okay, yeah, because you're not collecting physical data. Then this is also the domain of people that want to produce a product. So if you want to develop a tool, okay, or software, you want to develop a tool or software, you're going to combine the strength of quantitative data and the strength of qualitative data. So I told you that quantitative data is easily the validity is that the advantage is that it is easily you can easily validation is easy. That's the advantage. Why the advantage on this side is that the strength here, the strength for this side is that what the strength is that um the data you can it adds you can easily understanding of a phenomenon of a phenomenon is easier. Okay, that means you understanding. So it asks the question why. So if you're trying to understand why do people act in a particular way, you see that that research question cannot be answered by quantitative data. You cannot use quantitative data to answer why something. So that you like now you say that 70% of people have HIV in a particular state. So, but if you now want to answer why is this like this, why is that 70%? You have done a survey, and then you want to understand why these numbers. There's no how you can know the why apart from when you interview people or when you observe people. Okay, so that is why that is why in the UK the domain of public health research is moving more towards qualitative now, because people want to understand why do people act the way they do. Okay, so if you're a critical realist, you're combining the strength of this one and this one together. If you're doing a qualitative synthesis, if you're doing anything like around synthesis of something, if you're doing a qualitative synthesis in particular, something like a system, a review, we are doing something like a review. You are looking at, remember in your review, you are collecting both qualitative data and quantitative data, right? Yeah, so they are reviewing primary studies, whether they are qualitative or quantitative. Then this is you are a critical realist. You are combining the strengths of right. So now, so like I've said, these are the school of thoughts, or you call them your research philosophy. So after today's meeting, you need to update your knowledge on research philosophy. That is the so that you will know the one that are actually doing. Which type of researcher are you? Okay. So good. Now, now after uh, understanding the type of researcher you are, now you need to. So sorry. Now, if you believe that reality is single, this is your ontology. This is your ontological position. So ontology means what? The way you view the world as a researcher. So positivist ontology, they believe in single reality. Interpretivist ontology, they believe what? In multiple reality. Okay. So that's the ontological position. So make sure that your ontological position is clear in your research. Then a critical realist, the ontology is that what he wants to combine the evidences of both from both sides. Okay, so so now um having understood what is ontology, what that means, what is reality, we now look at what, how do you understand, how do you gain knowledge, how do you gain knowledge? So the theory of knowledge is called epistemology. So epistemology asks the question, how do I get my data? Okay, how do I get my data? What is your epistemological uh, stance? So your research in your research, your ontology should align with your epistemology, and then your epistemology should align with your methodology. So these three things should be aligned together. So if I'm reading your research, I'm looking at what is your ontological stance, what is your epistemological stance, and then what is the methodology, and whether they are aligned together. So they should be aligned. Okay, so you cannot say you are a positivist and then you are using qualitative data, qualitative methods. Okay. So in critical realist here, what is their aim? Their aim, the aim of a critical realist, what? The aim of critical realist is what? To enhance your research methodology. So that's why you're combining the the uh, the strength of both sides. Okay. So so um in terms of your epistemological uh in terms of epistemological stance, that is, you are trying to answer how do I gain knowledge? So if in your epistemological stance, how do I gain knowledge? For the for the positivist, your epistemological stance is what? Is a stance of what? Objectivity. So this is your epistemological stance. See that? Objectivity. Okay? While here, your epistemological stance is what? Subjectivity. Subjective. Okay? So epistemological stance is subjectivity. Okay? So epistemology means how the theory of knowledge. How do we gain knowledge? Okay? How do we gain knowledge? So it is subjective in nature. So I'm going to open my dissertation. Then we'll see how we defended it, how I defended it, my stance. Then, then the last one is what? Your methodology. So methodology means how do I collect my data? Okay. So your methodology here, my data is collected using what? Methodology here. My data is collected using what? Questionnaire survey. Okay. Questionnaire survey. That means methods of data collection. How will I collect my data? Okay. So that's what methodology is all about. Okay. While here, the methodology, how will I collect my data? Like I said, your methodology is what? How will I collect my data? Um, my methodology here will be what? Focus group discussion, methodology, will be focus group discussion, individual interviews, observations. Okay. So that is methodology. Now, I want to say something. I know I made a mistake here. Methodology is different from methods. Methods, methods is you are strictly looking at how to collect your data. But the methodology is the the father of methods. So you have methods inside the methodology. Methodology means the type of the protocol you want to use for your research. So, for example, methodology for interpretivists here, there are various methodologies you can use. You have phenomenology, you have ethnography, ethnography, you have grounded theory. Okay, grounded theory. Um, I think these are the ones I can remember now. That is for methodology, the research methodology. Okay, so yeah, for chapter 3, you have phenomenology, ethnography, and grounded theory. So, but these two will be a long. That means I don't think it's good for 1 year masters because they are long. This they require a longer period. Ethnography and grounded theory. So the most likely one you might see if you are selected for primary research will be phenomenology or mixed methods. So here for positivity, so what are the methodology? So this is methods. Sorry. So methods, questionnaire, survey. If you are doing experiments, so experiments. Okay. So now the methodology here that you can use in randomized control in positivist philosophy, the methodology includes you can have case control study, co-study, randomized control trial, cross-sectional study. Okay. So while in here What is your methodology? Your methodology here is more of what? Have a systematic review. Okay. You can have in fact, the reviews, the domain of reviews is normally here. Okay. So um so what are the methods of data set collection? So method of data collection, the method of data collection here is secondary research. So secondary research. So you are looking at what you are collecting data from what previous studies, what has been done before. So that is just a brief background of the research philosophy in terms of ontology, epistemology, and methodology. So you need to get them clear in your head. So I just try to compress these things in a way that you can easily know where your research domain falls in. Okay. All right. So let's look at an examples of uh, examples of how, let's see how people applied this uh, concept. Okay, so sorry, I forgot one thing. I just remembered. So these interpretivists, you can also call them what? This interpretivism. 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 You can also call it constructionism. Okay, construction. Okay, so you need to read it up. They are the same: interpretivism, constructionism, point of view. Okay. Now, so here, what is the method of analysis, data analysis here that are used in qualitative research? Methods of the data analysis. You can have example. You can have thematic analysis, and then there are other types. I cannot remember them, but the common one, for example, the most likely one you see in masters 1 year masters is phenomenology, and then you are using thematic. That means you are identifying themes in your topic, and you are trying to condense them to another. So let's look at a sample how to write proposal. So before that, is there any question? So the floor is open now. Any question first before? Hello?
We can hear you.
Yes, I have a question, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like majority of us now are doing secondary research.
Yeah.
So does it mean that our method now, the space we are
Will
asking
be
to write
okay.
our
Good.
our
Now for me, because remember I don't know it all. Okay. So from what I have read, the little I have read, at least I can show you the one I'm sure of is based on the research articles I've read now, which I'm
okay,
going to show you here, is if you are doing qualitative synthesis. Yeah, that means like what you want the articles you want to include in your review are all qualitative. That means you are not involving quantitative data. Yeah,
okay,
then your approach is critical realism. And how you will know the approach to use is by reading previous researches. So I spent time over the night to look at different PhD thesis. So I'm going to show you the sites I use to get an idea on what people, because this domain of research is not, it doesn't have a particular curriculum. It is you can learn by reading articles and seeing the methods that were used. So based on the topic that you are reading, when you get the review articles that have been the systematic reviews, you look at the methodology that was used for that. So I don't, I've not seen your research
topic.
PowerPoints. So I don't know. Did I tell people that you are doing a conceptual research?
No, I said because majority of us are
No,
doing.
yeah, I know. I mean, what did they tell you in class concerning your research? What type of research did they say you are doing?
Secondary research.
Okay. Did they say conceptual research?
No.
Okay. So our own, we did secondary research, and which is also the same thing as conceptual research is the same thing. Conceptual
Okay.
research means is desktop-based research. You are looking at previous articles. So
Now,
if
what
that
what
if that
I what
if
I
that's
want
the
to
method,
ask,
yeah,
what I want to ask actually is, when we are writing methodology,
I'm
or
going to
when we
give you
are
example.
writing,
I'm going to give
okay,
you an example because I know that even if I speak all the English, but if I don't show you example, it will not stick. Do you understand? So I'm going to share on my screen. I'm going to show you examples. But I know what you're going to ask. How do you do all these things in your writing? Okay, so I'm going to give you an example, and
thank
then
you.
you can now go ahead and do your research. And then I'll show you the sites I used to get articles just to read, because this thing is, the more you read, the more you see there are many things in research. So I don't know it all. So I can only say to the extent I know. The extent I know now is that if you are synthesizing qualitative articles only, that means for a review, then your methodology is most likely critical realist. And then if you are if you're including mixed methods in your review too, that means like you are doing some part of quantitative and then qualitative, also critical realist as of research philosophy. Okay. So any question before we go to here some articles? Yeah, somebody's raising their hand. Who is that? Hello? Can I go ahead? I think there's no question again. Any question? Hello? Can you guys hear me?
We
Hello?
can hear you.
I can
Okay,
hear
so I
you.
should continue. I should continue, right?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm okay, so I'm going to give you an example now. Okay. So let's look at the first example. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Hello. Okay.
Yes, please,
So
yeah.
at least now we have understood what is research philosophy, epistemology, and methodology, because that is the major foundation I wanted to lay before we will now go straight to. Okay, so I'm going to start with um. I'm going to start with here's my. Okay, so I'm going to start with. Okay, now this is now watch exploring. Okay, wait, let me start first with my dissertation, then we'll now go straight to the sites. Let me start first with my dissertation, then qualitative approach, then okay. So can you see my screen clearly now? So now you will see where the difference is. The difference in primary and secondary lies in the methodology. So this topic now, you can view it in two ways. You see that now, as asylum seeker, a refugee experience of the interpretation and services in primary health care. So if you want to choose a topic for secondary research, you don't try, you don't do guessing. You don't go and be sleeping and then wake up and you want to coin a topic. That's the wrong way to do it for secondary research. Secondary research means you need to go to the internet and choose a database and then type in the concept that you want to know about, read around it, and then by the time you have screened the titles, you'll be able to say, okay, this area more researches has been done, while this area fewer researches has been done, and then you'll be able to now come up with a topic after you have read. Not you don't wake up from sleep and coin a topic. No. So you look at what has been done before. Then by the time you have looked at what has been done before, you can now see, okay, the areas that little have been done. Then you can also come up with it. So now in this topic, the target of population is what? Asylum seekers and refugees. That's the target population. See that? Now, what am I studying? I'm studying what? Experience. Experience of a phenomenon. And what methodology, what research philosophy is good for studying experience? Can you tell me? Can you guys tell me? What research, based on what you have done now, which type of philosopher am I likely to be? Which category? Since I want to study about experiences of a phenomenon, which categories am I likely to be in terms of research philosophy? Am I going to be a positivist? Am I going to be an interpretivist or a critical realist? Hello, can you guys answer? Can you guys hear me?
Please come again. Please come again with the question.
I said I want to study about how some group of people experience a phenomenon. Which research philosophy will I be coming from? Based on what we have done now, based on what I have shown you, I want to study
I
about how people experience something.
I think positivity.
Okay, why do you think it is positivist based on the characteristics I've shown you before now? Why do you think it is positivist? Why do you think it is positivist?
Because you can scientifically study through experiments. You can study
Well,
practically.
I didn't say, excuse me, I didn't say experimental. I said experience. How human beings
Yes,
experience something. So,
yes.
if you want to study an experience, what type of study design? No, not design. What research philosophy will be underpinning your research? Look at the characteristics of epistemology. Sorry, look at how a positivist thinks. They believe in single reality. Yeah, that's their ontological position. Their epistemological stance is that they believe that there is a single truth. Now, and I was saying that if you are studying about experience, how people experience a phenomenon, can you see that?
Yes.
How people experience phenomenon. So, which type of research philosophy uh, are you? That means you are coming from the lens of interpretivism or constructionism. Okay, so
Okay.
if the experience is subjective, that means people experience, even though they're experiencing the same thing. Maybe they're experiencing torture, like maybe you're studying torture, child abuse, anything at all. They are how human beings experience it is different. How one person experience something is different from how the other person experiences. Okay, so
Yeah.
you need to be clear on your research philosophy so that you should be able to know the category what you are in, each area. So also, like I told you now, remember here I said you can use both. Either you can combine. If you're doing a mixed, if you're doing a mixed methods, that means
Mixed method.
you are doing questionnaire. Maybe you do survey first, and then after doing survey, you will now do interview,
Focus group.
focus
Interview.
group. So that means you are a critical analyst. Okay, so you
Okay.
need to you need to be clear on exactly what is your research philosophy. Okay, so if you are doing a
Yeah.
systematic review, maybe you are reviewing both qualitative and data. Also, philosophy is underpinned by critical realism. Okay, so I I don't have a perfect knowledge on all this, so I'm just giving you a guide so you know exactly what to read. So if you're opening your textbook now to read, at least these 3 slides now, you'll be able to very clear in your head, okay, what I'm reading. Okay? All right.
Yeah.
So, and then I've told you the methodologies for qualitative research. You have phenomenology, ethnography, garnet theory. There are other ones. But the one you might likely encounter within 1 year, you can easily use phenomenology, and that's exactly what I did. All right. So your review you can coin your review on how people experience a particular phenomenon, how people experience child abuse, how people experience torture, how people experience child health, experience how people experience of people in the care home. Okay, so but you don't sit down and coin a topic for secondary research. You must go to your database and type in the keywords and see the articles that are already there. That is, it's called preliminary search or scoping search, scoping review. Okay, so that you will know. So read previous systematic reviews on the topic. No, not you don't even have a topic. So read the previous systematic reviews on what has been done, so that you'll be able to know where you can now come in before you now come and present the topic. So you don't just sit down and coin a topic and then that's asking me. That's not correct, right? So now we have understood our different research philosophy. So I'm going to open my
I want to
this
ask a
thing.
question, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
What is the difference between a systematic review and a comparative study?
A comparative study is okay. A comparative study, you are looking at if you say comparative study, that means you are most likely doing a randomized control trial, or even if you are not doing a randomized control trial, you are trying to compare the effectiveness of two concepts. So you're trying to review two phenomena. So let's say your
Sorry,
topic
come
now.
again.
I said for comparative study, you are trying to review two phenomena, two things. For example, you are trying to look at um, effectiveness of e-cigarettes programs compared to another intervention again in the United States. Okay, so you are trying to review articles that show that using e-cigarettes is much better than the normal cigarettes, and then you're also trying to review other articles that say that this one and that another alternative approach is better, and then you now based on the articles that you have seen on both sides, you now come up with a summary. Say, okay, based on this and this is what you think is better. Okay, so if you're doing a comparative study, you are reviewing two sides. Most likely, you are reviewing the effect of a program, maybe before and after. So let's say they introduce smoking ban policy. I don't know the year. I'm just giving an example. Maybe in 2015, the UK. So now you are looking at how the difference the articles that were published before that year of smoking, and then articles that were published after that year. You are comparing to see whether that policy was effective. So if that is the kind of research you are doing, then that is still under review. But also if you are doing an intervention study, which is not what you can do, then you are trying to compare the efficacy of two drugs. Okay, you are trying to compare efficacy of maybe drug A and drug B to know which one is better. Then that is randomized control trial, and that is now that's a quantitative study, so you can't do that. So, but if it's in terms of review of impact of a policy, okay, review of impact of an intervention that was done sometime. By just looking at the review articles, then you can. So that is still under critical realism, because most likely your articles will be still include quantitative and qualitative. Because if you're talking about effectiveness, I need number. Okay. All right. That's clear.
So does it mean that a comparative study is kind of a primary research?
If you are doing well, it depends. It depends. You cannot say all comparative studies are primary research, because if you are comparing effectiveness of a project now that was done, okay, let's say mosquito, that's what's it called? It's intermittent prevention of malaria. That's a program, a project that was executed in a country in a particular year, and then you want to study the 5 years before that program, 5 years after that program. You are not doing that. You are not doing an active research again. You are not going to the field to collect that. You are rather reviewing articles on how the incidence of malaria before that project and incidence of malaria after that project. So it's still a secondary research. So it all depends on how you find your own research on what you want to achieve. So it is better if you have a topic that you want to share, and then look at that topic based on the lens. At least now you have understood your research philosophy.
Do you mean I should share the topic here, or
No. You can say the topic, and then if it's something that's a comparative study, you need to know that you cannot do primary study. That's the truth.
yes, definitely.
So what we're talking about is secondary. So it must be secondary research. So
Yes,
you
okay,
need to ask yourself that topic that you want to discuss, and can you get the data before and after? That's the two. You are comparing two things.
so I will be comparing two periods.
Good. Now you get it. Yes.
Can say
So
from 2010 to 2020 to 2015, then from 2015 to 2020.
exactly. So exactly. So how has is there any is there any change? Exactly. So you can coin your review based on that. Yes. Exactly.
All right.
So, but
Understood.
then please, everything I'm telling you now is my personal opinion. It is not final. I've not even done PhD, so I'm still learning. So every answer I'm giving you, every comment I'm giving you is not final. Please consult with your module leader. Send them an email before you finalize your topic, or before you do anything. Anything I'm giving you is just my own personal opinion. I may be right or I may be wrong. I hope that's clear, so that you're not gonna say,
Yes, sir.
I'm the one that told you to do and do this one. That put me in trouble. It's personal opinion. So also read your books. I may be wrong. If I'm wrong, you can point out. All right. Any other question?
No, for me, no.
Oh, okay.
Somebody's raising it.
Yeah, just ask. Yeah, Amusha, I can ask before we go, because we want to enter into another thing.
This research that we are doing now, must it be a systematic review or just
No. You're not really doing a system. I don't know what they told you. Did they tell you to do a systematic review?
not really? That's what I'm asking.
So, but why you are reading systematic review? There's difference between systematic review and consider review, just small. There is no much this thing. So, why I will recommend for you to get a systematic review, you may not follow all the steps. You just remove one or two things. Okay, so it's almost a systematic review, but not fully a systematic review. So I'm going to show you a systematic review, what it looks like. Just small thing. There is not much difference. So it's almost a systematic review, but you're not doing a systematic. Okay. Okay. So, but it's better you assume that this is a systematic review, because the process of doing systematic review will also help you to get the articles. Right? Okay. Any other question? Hello? Voice silent. Any other question? Are you guys hearing me?
Yes, no question for now. Yes, we can hear you. No,
Okay.
we have to mute our microphone.
Oh, okay. So let's go straight to. I want to use now. So like I was saying, I said this topic can be coined. It can be the same topic, but the methodology will now tell us the difference. You understand? It can be the same topic, but the methodology will now tell us the difference. So now, this topic now, you can have exactly the same this topic now, okay, but different methodology. The experience of interpretation of tertiary services in primary health care in the United Kingdom. So this is the population. This is the phenomenon under study. Experience of a phenomenon. Okay, that is what here is telling me. Okay, then this is telling me this about the setting. Which setting is my research? Which setting is my research? This is telling me about the setting, or you call it context. So the context here is what primary health care, and then this is now the location. The location. Okay, so this is the location of this. All right. So this article, this research can be done either is as a review or either as primary study. That means if you have noticed that fewer studies have been done on interpretation and tertiary services, primary healthcare. So this primary healthcare is remember there are many services in primary healthcare. So just selecting one of the services because no research has been done here. Now this is still the same topic again, but now put as a review. Okay, a review of asylum seeker and refugee experience of interpretation and tertiary services primary healthcare setting in the same topic. It's not about the topic, it's about you understanding the research topic. Okay. Now, this is your aim. Your aim is equal to your topic. I mean the main aim of your research, the main purpose of I say when you're writing a proposal now, your purpose of study is equal to your research topic. Yeah, but just as you are stating in more words, so you can see the aim of this study was to explore ASR as asylum seeker and refugee experiences of ITS as interpretation in the UK healthcare services. And I replaced primary healthcare with healthcare services. Okay. Now, this is my abstract. So I'm using what, if you remember the various methodologies in qualitative research, which one am I using here? I'm using a phenomenological approach because I am looking at experiences of people.
Go drink Pepsi.
What?
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, sorry, not you, sorry.
Okay, so now this phenomenological approach, remember, this is primary study. This is not secondary research. You cannot say you are doing phenomenological approach for secondary research. In a phenomenological approach means that you are doing interview and people are telling you that they are describing their experiences. That's what phenomenology is all about. So now let's go to how to write your proposal. I've done a video on that before now, but you can also do a recap. So assuming you are writing your proposal, the background is the same for both primary and secondary. The background is the same for both primary and secondary research. So your background should involve the definition of the major concepts in your title. So what are the major concepts in my research here? Major concepts I have is what I need to define who is an asylum seeker and who is a refugee. I need to define what is interpretation services. What do I mean by that word? I need to define what do I mean by primary health care. So these are the three major concepts. So I need to define them. So you have to define. So if you're writing your background now, you need to define the concepts that you have in your research. Okay. So this applies for both primary and secondary. So and then if after defining it, you now talk about the epidemiology of your problem. How big is it? Okay, start from worldwide. Then, like my own research was in, I'm using some 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 cities in northeast Yorkshire and Humber. So, but for me to get to that place, I needed to state what is happening worldwide, show that is a problem. You can see by saying between this and this is rising, the case is rising. Okay. Now I now came to Europe. What is happening in Europe? You see that? Saying that is a problem again. What's happening in UK? Okay. And then what is happening in Yorkshire and Humber, because I'm using some cities in Yorkshire as a sample, yeah, to apply it to UK. So so that's how you just discuss it down and come down to. So now I am at Yorkshire and Humber. Okay. So then about your population, what is it about your population? What is important? Why is that topic important to them? So I now discuss how ASR have poorer health. I'm just trying to show why my topic is important, and then show that several studies have said the same thing. That's why language barrier is important. So why is your concept important? Okay. Then I will now also discuss if there is any economic, maybe any amount of money that government is spending on that project. So this can say it. Then you discuss your risk factors, the risk factors for the thing you are studying, the consequences, okay, and then the economic implications, financial implications, government, and then if there's any policy that is related to your topic, government policy, then to talk about it, just to support why it's important. Then, if you now come to chapter 2, your chapter 2 is literature review. Sometimes they will say you do methodology first. Okay, so I don't know what they're telling you now, but sometimes it's chapter 2 is literature review, sometimes it's methodology. No matter. So chapter 2, your literature review is different from your qualitative. Sorry, your literature review is different from background. So here, before you do this literature review, you must be able to get the keywords for your topic and then put them into the database and retrieve articles that address your topic, whether fully or partially, before you do this. So here now, these articles I'm citing here now are articles that deals with topic. But because it's a primary research, I may not see some of them that deals with it properly. You see something that's related. So there is a video that I've already done, and that video is on how to get your research keywords. How to get your research keywords. So if you type in my name, Anthony Uwandu-uzoma, you see the video I did in the morning before I slept off. Just publish it. As you see, it's still private, public. So now in this video, I explained how you can get your keywords. Your keywords is not from your brain. You have to look at systematic reviews that have been done in your topic. Like you can see here now, I was able to get a systematic review in an article. I searched for systematic reviews at any review that had the word asylum seeker. So I was able to see how they searched for it. So what I'm doing is that I need to read like maybe 3 or 4 systematic reviews, get keywords, systematic review that people have used before, and see how they searched it, and then I'll copy them out. Then I'll be able to use those same keywords, retrieve my studies. So you can see here now, seeing how they search for asylum seeker, and if they asylum seek, they put asterisk. That means any other word after seek or refugee. That so I'm seeing how they search it, because so you need to read some systematic reviews to see how, look at the literature search strategy. So you see how did they search for keywords. Then you'll be able to get keywords for your own. So here I'm seeing how they search for mental health. See mental health or mental disorder, psychopathology. See that? So by the time I read like 3, 4, 5 systematic reviews, I'll be able to get all the keywords I need for my mental. Okay. Then look at the one for children. I'm seeing how they search minor or children or other. So at the end of me mining for these keywords, I was able to come up even my keywords for primary health care. I was able to get how other people search for it. So you can see here now, I'm seeing the keyword for primary health care, primary health care services. So you can see that I was able to get an idea on some keywords. So when you go, just type in this, how to search for your research topic using the right keywords. So this is a video I published today. I just published it now. So you watch it and then you'll be able to get keywords. So don't don't start telling me that you type the keyword and you're not coming. You are not using the right keyword. There are people that have done this research before you. So find out the keywords they used and then use the same keywords to retrieve your results. The most important thing is not about getting the whole keyword in the word. No. The main thing is report what you did. So that if another person does the same thing, you'll be able to get the same result. That's all. It's not about gathering all the whole keywords in. So at the end of the day, this was what I was able to get after reading 2 or 3 review articles. I was able to get my keywords for review, this one, and then my keywords for primary health care. That's okay. So the rest is inside the video. So let me just leave this one. Let's continue about my topic. So now, so you should be able to say in your methodology. Let's go to methodology section, because that is the most important section in your research topic. Okay. So in your methodology, you need to highlight. I hope you can be writing what I'm saying. Or the most important things I'm looking at. Number one, you need to tell me, how do you want to appraise the study that you are retrieving? How do you want to critically appraise them? These are the points. So for qualitative study, you appraise them using the CASP checklist, the critical appraisal skills program. So you can read about it. It's the CASP checklist. Just type it in Google. You will see there is CASP checklist for qualitative studies. Okay. While there's also CASP, there is a JBI checklist for quantitative studies. Okay. That's Joanna Briggs Institute. So I want to see that in your proposal. How do you want to appraise a study? Okay. Then I want to see in your methodology, I want to see your inclusion and exclusion criteria. What are the things that you want to exclude from your? So for example, in my own now, what did I want to include in my study? Let me see. I should have a table. Okay. I didn't have a table, but I wrote in words. But normally it's good to have a table. Okay. So where is my? So now, what did I include? I included studies that described the experience of ITS, that is interpretation and translation services in primary health care, from the perspective of various individuals. So your own can be perspective of, my own was from the perspective of both healthcare workers, Black and ethnic minorities, asylum seekers. You know why? Because my own is the primary research, so I couldn't get the perspective of ASR themselves, because there were few. So I had to rely on perspective of other people, including healthcare workers, Black and ethnic. But your own is secondary research, so you should be able to have a perspective. But even if you like, you can choose all perspectives. It doesn't matter. Okay, so but I'm just giving you an idea. So you need to tell me your inclusion and exclusion. What are you including in your study, and then what are you excluding? So now look at my studies excluded review from personal opinions, reflection, experience of the others, ITS outside healthcare setting. Remember, I told you setting. My setting was primary healthcare. So any experience that is not within primary healthcare, I will exclude them. Okay. Now, studies that discuss language barriers without focusing or giving ASR or BEM or health worker perspectives. Yeah, they was also excluded. So BEM is black and ethnic minority. Then theoretical studies were also excluded. So if you are doing a study on black and ethnic minority, uh, uh, if you're doing a study on black and ethnic minority, what are the keywords that you can use? So if you search on articles on black and ethnic minority groups, you might see something like refugees, transients, migrants, ethnic groups, minority groups. So you might see something like that. So you need to mind the keywords by reading uh, different systematic reviews and see what they used. Okay. So now you need to tell me the framework that you are using. So here I was using population intervention. That's the PICO framework. So now, but in my study that I didn't have any comparator. So PICO framework means population intervention, comparator, and outcome. So you can read it up. Okay. So now, but my study I didn't have any comparator group. So I only use population. Okay. Then the intervention was what? Interpretation and translation services. That was the interpretation. Then the outcome is what? Health. So let's look at it here. So now look at it here. So the population, okay, that is refugees, transients, people that have communication barriers. Now the intervention is what? Translation and interpretation services. These are the keywords I got started reading system. Okay. What was the outcome? My outcome was what? Primary health care service. So I now combine them after all those things. Taking the okay. So so for so after you have stated your search keywords, then the next thing, because your own is secondary, so you are not doing anything. So the next thing is ethics. Okay, ethics. So let me get to my ethics of research. So this my methodology here is different from your own, because this is for this methodology for primary research, so you don't need it. But anyway, look at what I said, how I position my ontology and the epistemology, which is what I wanted you to see. So here I said the author will discuss the rationale. So what is the rationale for using a conceptual review? What is your rationale? So I needed to defend why did I use a phenomenological approach. So you see the characteristics of your approach in the textbooks. That is where you see. So it's textbook I read from do that. So now I said my rationale. So this is my ontology here. Okay, epistemology. If you add a line on it, it will help also boost your mind. This one doesn't concern you because you don't need. Okay, so but what I say? The author views the subject of his study from a social constructivist lens, which is what the same thing as what the interpretivist philosophy. Okay, so this means that ASR experience of intelligence and intelligence services are social constructs which can be interpreted by each person from various perspectives. You see that? Resulting in varying meanings of the same experience. So people experience a phenomenon differently. Okay. So so you need to make your stance clear. So I said there are four major philosophical worldviews or paradigms that exist in literature. The post-positivist paradigm is that is the one I told you now. Is you see positivist slash post positivist paradigm. Okay, that is one aspect. That is those that believe in science, in hypothesis. Then you have the interpretivist view or constructivist view, which is like I told you, which is what subjective. Okay, and then you have the transformative. These ones I didn't bother discussing them with you. The transformative view, they believe that the research should be aimed to change, is to improve the lives of marginalized groups. Okay, so if you are doing a research that concerns Black and ethnic minority groups, uh, feminists, that is people that child abuse, that, so your worldview is your this thing worldview is that of transformative research. Okay. Now, and you remember that in transformative research is most likely a primary research because you are trying to change political you are trying to change policies. So it's aimed towards social action. Then while pragmatic view is the one that says any approach I need to use to solve a problem, I want it. That is pragmatism. That's a pragmatic word. But it's not so important for now. All right, so now I want to show you the this is for primary research, for primary research. Then I want to show you how did I frame my research problem? How did I define my research problem, my research gap? Okay. Now I said what? I said some studies have previously focused on. Remember, I've read now. So some studies have previously focused on maternity experiences, Black and ethnic minority experiences. 2, health worker perspective of intervention and intervention services. 3, ASR experiences generally of primary health care. 4. See, now this shows the author that I've read White. Get some studies that have said these things. However, only a few studies have been conducted around ASR experiences of ITS. The best out of knowledge, this is the first study to address this gap using. So you see, I have stated why my study is important. See that. So, but your own may not be. Your own may be that the best of your knowledge. This is the first time that a review is being conducted on your topic, or that your own the ones that have been done so far are outdated, okay, or they didn't use qualitative synthesis. They used mixed so based on methodology. So let me close this one. So now let me show you the one that looks like a like secondary research. The one that looks like secondary research. So now this is this one. So this is exploring refugee and asylum seekers experience. You can see this is experience of a phenomenon, a qualitative study. So based on this topic now, you will not know whether is this in a review or is it a primary study. I don't know. It depends. It's when you read it that you know. So now, so this is the author. Okay. So let's go straight to your proposal. So chapter 1 is systematic review. So now I know exactly the type of research that person is doing. Okay. So now let's look at this section. So if you're writing your proposal, the same thing, the same structure again. Your introduction, you define the terms. Okay. I'm not reading this article, so I'm just looking at. So he's trying to define whatever he's studying. Okay. Now, and then do your statistics, everything. If there's any policy, just follow the same guideline. Okay. So now I'm looking at what is the aim. I told you now the aim is most times equal to the topic or an expression of the topic. So the aim of this review is to explore the following research question. So he just reframing the topic, the heading again. So among people with experience of trauma. So this is to give an idea on how to also state your own aim or your own objective. So so I can say among asylum seeker and refugees. Okay, how do they describe their experiences of participating in a group interview? So now you have seen one way of converting your topic by reading this article. So that's why you need to read articles. So let me copy this one out. This is how the research question was framed. Okay, for experiences. So he said what? Among people with experience of a phenomenon, how do they describe? You see that? How do they describe their experiences? So this is one way you can, assuming you are doing something around experiences. Okay. Now you need to tell me so this is your proposal right now. So after you have written on your background, and then you have stated why your research is important, then you need to tell me your objectives. Okay. Then you need to tell me your methodology. So you said the various databases so you will now say the database that will be searched includes Sinal, Medline, Cochrane. Remember that your own, you have not done the search. Yes, you say these different databases will be searched. Okay, you list them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the one that you want to search. Okay, then you tell me the search terms that you want to use. Okay, so using your PICO framework. Okay, so now it's good that you have this particular framework here. So you can see they use population, intervention, comparison group, not available, and then outcome. So what's the outcome here? The outcome is what? Experience, perspective, views, perception, opinion or attitude. So these are important keywords that you can even use for your search. It's when you are doing thing around that, around experience. So I can see good and nice keywords there now. So make sure you state your framework. It's very important. I can see keywords, for experience, perspective, things I can use. Okay. And then study type. Now you can see now they added their own another parameter here. Study type. They limited their search to only qualitative research or research that use qualitative methods. So if you like, you can do the same. If the articles are too much, assuming you want to include quantitative data, and it's too much, just limit it to quantitative research. So you know the type of articles that you have. So then the articles were imported into EndNote or whatever. Yeah, just to describe how you intend to get. Then describe your inclusion and exclusion criteria. So the inclusion criteria were what? Qualitative studies, including adults with the phenomenon of interest, then who we are describing their experiences. It's very important if you're doing this kind of study. Okay. Articles which included other people's views, like clinicians, nurses, midwives. Okay, were included then. Only qualitative research with quotations reported were included to ensure transparency. Then the things that you can exclude. You can exclude thematic literature review, case reports, book chapters, and exclude them. Studies which included children. So you can exclude by population, children and adolescents. Includes other things that you can exclude, military and armed forces, whatever. So now this one, okay, this one I don't know it before, so I'm seeing it now. The methodological transparency. So you can read it up. The researcher read up about how to use consolidated criteria checklist. Correct. Okay. So read about correct and see whether you can bring it in your topic. Okay? So then data analysis. So if you are doing a study on experiences, the most likely data analysis you use is thematic analysis. because you want to get, so thematic analysis is that when you have read so many things, you now get the minor themes in the topic. Then you consolidate those minor themes into major themes discussion. So read about thematic analysis. So you need to report on how do you intend to analyze your data. Exactly. Like I said, it said inductive approach. You see that? So that's why you need to understand your research philosophy. That background I laid was very important. So you need to know so that you see everything is aligning together. Systematic analysis, inductive approach was used. So if you see this, you understand where it is coming from. So read about thematic analysis and then see how you can bring it out. I don't start off. Okay. Then now look at it. It said a critical realism approach. So that was how I knew. So when you read other reviews, you see approaches that were used based on your topic. Then you will know what the right one to use. So a critical realism approach was used. Okay. So he's now started to defend why is it critical realism approach that was used. So you need to read up critical realism approach and see based on your own topic. So he said what the approach suggests that author's conception of knowledge is shaped upon of. So you see, which is why it makes sense because the author, you are not doing a primary research, you're only constructing knowledge other people's. So the author is mindful that the data be analyzed based upon the in the data, which is exactly what you're doing. Good if you follow just qualitative data. However, their interpretation will be influenced by their views. That's why it's critical. Okay, so now I'm seeing NTREC standard checklist. I don't know this. So if you can add it, good. If not, leave it. All right, so you can see, so here, result section, you don't need this for your proposal, but you need to know how to report this thing. So by the time you need to add Prisma flow, not for your proposal now, when you start your research. So you need about Prisma flow diagram, how do your reporting. This is when you have started your research. So get to read more. So you can see that in your hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
We can hear you.
All right. So so this is a systematic review. But there is no need of going deep again. At least there is all that's all for your proposal. So you can use this article. So let me show you how to download this article. This article is a PhD thesis. Remember, you don't plagiarize. This is somebody's work. So and you're not supposed to use PhD thesis in your references. Okay. So I'm going to get this topic here, exploring refugee and asylum seekers of. I'm going to copy it. Just copy it. Control C. So now the sites I normally use to understand more research. So just type in Google. Just type in ethos. I've said it before. Type in ethos. Just in Google ethos. Just normal search. Google search ethos. Okay. You see ethos.bl.uk. Okay. So I'm going to search for whatever any topic I want. But majorly what I'm studying is I'm looking at systematic review. So you can just type systematic reviews. Okay? And then add in your topic. Assuming I'm just trying to understand the ways systematic review. Just search it like this. I'll see various systematic reviews. And then I'm going to say select this icon. Say limit search to items that are available for that. Because there are ones that are not available. Okay, so you can see I'm seeing a lot of systematic reviews I can read. So this is your personal development. So you can read and see different ways people will learn so many things here. So by the time you read all these things, you're able to, get an idea on how to. Now look at this one. Women's experience of what? Family planning. Automatically, I know that this is what a qualitative study. You understand from the title? Experience. You cannot use quantitative data or hypothesis to study experience. You don't know. Comparison. So comparison group. Okay. The person that is asking for comparison. See this one. Comparison of methods for systematic review. Two examples using meta ethnography. Meta ethnography, I told you, is what? Is a qualitative study. So you can read up and see how it was used. Okay. So if you press that topic here, you see it. So see it. You see that? Yeah. Just click on it. Ask you to log in. Please log in. So you create account with them. Log in and download. Don't plagiarize. And because this is for personal development, so you get PhD topics there and you read and see before you know it, you'll be getting better. Okay. So it's all about personal development. So you can type in a review on your topic and get an idea and see how people analyze their own topic. So you know the right. Okay. So what other ways to frame your review paper? At least now we know what thematic analysis is. So these are not straight terms. So these are another one I downloaded again. Understanding the factors that influence the effectiveness of, of customer review. So this is another good way of framing your topic. Understanding. You're trying when you're trying to understand something. Okay, when you're trying to understand something, that's a review. Understanding the effective. Remember, it didn't say effectiveness of something. It's trying to only understand. So he said what? A thematic analysis of receiver perspectives. You see that? So I already know that this is a qualitative approach. Okay, is a qualitative approach. Okay, so now let's look at how did he frame the research question. That is my own interest. And then how did he justify the study? These are the things you will read so that you will know how to justify your own. What's this doing here now? Okay. So you just go straight. Look at the aim of the study. Look at how the person constructed the aim. So you can see. So when you are doing a factor study, factors affecting, factors influencing, right? Whatever. So remember that you need to break down the factors. Okay. So here now the person broke down into A, B, C. He broke down the factors, whatever he's discussing. A, B, C. So always remember that you to categorize the factors, domains, based on your own research. Okay. So I want to look at how did he uh the aim. Remember, this is a PhD, so it's too big. So I just need to go straight to get my aim. Research on review credibility. Okay, now look at the ways of framing your research objective. Number 1, 2, 3. Now look at this. So it's very important you understand these types of. So research question number 1: to contribute to understanding of what XYZ, right? So that is research objective 1. So if you're doing a review, that is an example of a way to frame you are making a contribution to knowledge. Okay. So that is one way of framing your research objective, to contribute to to understand of whatever XYZ. Okay. What's the next one? To contribute to. Okay. So he now remember remember there are 3 branches now. So to contribute to the understanding of factors influencing review consultation, factors influencing review helpfulness. So you have an idea on how to. So that is how he organized the research question. You can see they're all the same thing: understanding, right? Then the research design, give experience, is qualitative thought that he's used. Okay. All right. So that's all for now. Justification and contribution. So let's see. Just multiple studies have been conducted, which is this is so he's trying to say the importance of his study now. Okay, I think you can just read around this thing. So find out how they justify their study, and then in order to address the lack of structure that okay, this is why it's on now. In order to address lack of structure, affected from let's say a form was identified from the literature and used to organize factors influence. So that's how that is his own study. But you don't need to go so deep like this. So this is a PhD topic. Okay, so I've shown you this one. So let's go to the next one. I hope we're following. Is there any feedback? Are we following? So everybody is quiet.
We are following, sir.
Yes, we are.
Okay. I hope all right. So now this one, okay, this is another thesis, but I said assessing the quality in systematic reviews of the effectiveness. So I don't know the research design that this one is, but let's look at. Let me read the abstract.
What topic? PhD. No PhD. On the review.
Okay. I think this one will not be good to for discussion. Let me just close it.
It will not be good for.
Yeah. Exploring keywords. Sorry, these are things I was. Okay, so let me close all this. Okay. Okay, this was when I was looking for keywords. Okay, topic. Okay. Okay, we'll still discuss this one.
Eh?
Who is talking? Oh. Okay, so let me see. Is there another good PhD? But I believe that we are good to go now based on the things we have done. Okay. So these are I was just compiling some keywords just for my own knowledge. I want to be having a database of keywords. As I'm reading, I'm compiling them. Just for example, now if I'm doing research around evidence, that's it. Like this topic now was example of said this topic was factors influencing the use of research by policymakers. So this was what they used. So the word for research now you can see you have evidence or knowledge or research. I got it by reading. What other people have done, brief or synthesis. This question mark means any word. It can be I or E. It doesn't matter. Or systematic review on. So at least I've known how to search for research. Now use of research. I've seen that this one is diffusion or dissemination or transfer. So use of research, the synonym is research transfer, right? So but now what they did is that they search for evidence for the research synonym separate, then search for transfer synonyms separate, and then they now used one near two that's to combine these two together. So if you have watched the video I did the video on literature search strategy, you understand what one near two is. Once this word, any of these words is near this other any of these ones within, I need it to get it for me. That is what it that's what it is. So by reading systematic reviews, you see, like I've seen some these are some keywords they use for policy making, then keywords that were used for systematic reviews. So you can be compiling those things on your own, and then okay. So if you're looking at keywords for those that are doing low or middle income countries, okay, these are keywords for you. You can see some keywords I've gotten from other systematic reviews I've read. So these are keywords: low, middle, LMIC. Okay, so you can limit your what you can define what you mean by low or middle income countries. Okay. Listing it like this, okay? Okay. So these are just you can do all these things on your own if you are just to develop your research ability. Okay. All right. So any questions? I think I have done the justice to proposal writing now. You will not have any, you will not come and be asking me, giving me some fun topic and start giving me any question. Time for question. We are already in schedule. Ask questions now. I'm done. Hello.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
I we are listening. Oh.
All right, thank you for
Ask
the
your
question.
questions. So I'm almost done. Ask your questions.
All right, so, right, if
Can
we
you
want
talk
to,
louder? You're not. Your voice is not clear.
Okay, right.
I can
If we
hear you
want
now.
to use these same ideas, like from similar articles, and then we paraphrase and reference the people they reference, that would be okay, right?
I didn't get you. Can you come again?
Okay, like for these concepts of methodology, data analysis, and all of that, haven't if when we go through similar articles that have done previous studies around our kind of study, and we rephrase our own using
No,
same.
no, you cannot. You have to trace the sources they used
Yes,
and see if you can access them. You read the original sources.
yes,
Why I gave you this discussion? It's not left for you to go to library. Like my own dissertation, I didn't
yeah,
copy it from everywhere. Once I have understood exactly what I've taught you now, you go to library. There are textbooks that have all everything you're saying now. They have it in textbook. You don't start doing mago anything. So if you go to portal.bradford.ac.uk, at least now I've given you a lecture. So I just gave you a lecture. So it's now left for you to now read up. When you now read, you will understand it. Use textbooks and validate your research methodology. As simple as that. You don't need to start doing copy and paste. So let me log in and show you, give you an example. Let me log in and show you, give you an example. See for them to send me a copy. So if I were you now, what I will now do is to go to the library, get two research textbooks that you can use your source. So I'll go to library, go to library resources, someone. If I were you now, based on this knowledge I showed you now, read up on research methodology. All the references you want is inside them. They're all there. Research methodology. This I said is not even correct. No, not someone. Oh, sorry, it's not someone. It's supposed to be. It's textbook I'm looking for. So I'm supposed to go to web catalog here. Yeah, good. So type in research method. We have any quantitative research methods, or even self, even if okay, let me research methodology. Research methods, a step by step. Can you see this book? Hello?
yeah, I can see it.
Go and get it. Oh, it's even one copy. So anybody that is the first person to go and get it. I'm just seeing this one now. It's just one copy here remaining. Look at this one. This is an ebook. Okay, this one you can read it from your house. So you can screenshot it. So when you read it now, based on the idea I've given you now, you will know how to defend your topic. Okay. Um, essays on research methodology. Look at this one again. A beginner's guide. How many copies is this one? Well, all the good books one copy now. Wow. Okay, now a guide for this one. Let's see. Get two textbooks. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is serious. The good books are now 1. Why? Okay, medical sciences. Okay, so but now social research method. This one is also good. This one here. Okay, so now let's go to your reading list. All these things are in your reading list. So let's try your reading list before I even come here. So let's go to reading list. Go to your reading list. Go to your canvas. All the textbooks that you need to pass this course are idea. Go to your research um, methodology. Go to reading list. Check your reading list here. My own is still here. Okay, so it has a new now. Hello, can you screenshot these books? Are you guys there?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
So
yes, we
now
are.
these are the textbooks that I read. Just have a screenshot of them. They should be in your stuff or in your this thing. Look at this one. So wait, let me open them all very well. Good. This one has 7 of 9 copies available. This is qualitative secondary. You see that? Exactly what you're looking for. Qualitative secondary research, a step-by-step guide. So this book should be able to, me if I even need to read it. So now you need to now check whether critical realism is that the only approach for qualitative secondary. So I'm just seeing this. So I didn't even read this book on time. So 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 if I were you, I'm going to go and read it. I'm seeing some people have even borrowed it already. That's good. Borrowed too. So in short, this page, qualitative secondary research, a step-by-step guide. Go and read it and then follow the methods there and defend you have all the references. I didn't say you should be quoting only this author. So when they quote somebody, if they quote somebody, trace the person they quote and see whether you can get it. If you can get the original author, then you quote that original author. If you cannot get the original author, you quote this man and then put in the secondary. You quote as secondary reference. That's what's called secondary reference. So if you read your referencing guide, you know what is a secondary. Okay, want to know about secondary referencing, how to reference author. Maybe you could not see the original, but you want to reference that original, but you didn't see it, because maybe it's either a paid. Let's go to referencing here. You see guide to Harvard referencing, brief guide. So there is brief guide and there is the full guide. So if you download any of them, so let's open this one and see. Let's search for secondary referencing. For F, type secondary. Okay, so it's not here. That's why it's not giving me anything. So let me go back again. Download the big one. Is what this one. Download it. Press Control F. Secondary. See that? Citing secondary sources. Click on it. That's page 12. So you see, they will not give you an example. So this one is manually how to cite it. So this is an example. So you read it up. They have already given you an example of how to cite this one. Because why? They cited the original author, which they couldn't get, which is Brechin 2000. They couldn't get access to it. But the book that they were reading, that they saw it in is this Maccabe and Tim, page 57. So you put in the page number of the book that you read, and then cite, but you still cite the original author. So this is one way of citing it. This is another way of citing it again. This guy, hello, this is the book that you read with the page number. You use a table that is modified from. This is the one that you didn't get in the 1983 work. Okay. So he said EndNote cannot create a correct citation for second. So you have to do it what? Manually. You have to edit it sentence by hand after you use EndNote. So it's manually. Okay. So this is an example of how to cite secondary sources. All right. Good. So, the videos that I want you to watch now, I'm going to drop the videos. Go to YouTube. Good. Okay. Any question?
Yeah, so hello.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, please, I have a question, please.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, when citing, can I, and I want to reference a book. Can I cite the book directly without using a secondary reference?
No, you have to trace the original author, assuming that book is citing somebody else. So you need to check
Okay.
if you can
And
have access
the
to
book
the
is not
original book.
citing, if the book is not citing any other person, in the book, it is just
Yes,
written
yes,
there
yes,
like
yes,
that.
yes. If the book is not citing anybody, that means it is the author's own opinion. So you need to now
Okay.
paraphrase. Make sure you
And
paraphrase
cite the
and then
book.
cite, yes. But if the author
Okay.
is citing an idea from another person,
Okay.
stress if you can get the book. That's why it's good to be in the library, because sometimes you might need to go up and down, go to floor 2, go to floor 1 to retrieve a book. Okay, so you can
Okay.
gain more knowledge. Yes, so that is how to
So,
do it.
but if you
So
can,
yeah, but if you cannot get access to the book, maybe the book is a very old book or is a paid book, then you can now use secondary referencing.
so but if you can get the secondary reference, if you can get the person's reference, the person that reference it, so do you still need to make the reference secondary reference again?
No. If you can get the original author,
Author,
then
yeah.
you read the original author and then paraphrase what you is that means now you are no longer citing from the book you're reading now, from the Facebook you're reading.
Okay.
You are
Yeah.
citing from the original book that
Mhm.
you are reading. So that one, so you can now do your own idea on what you understood from that original book and cite it
All right.
directly. You don't need to cite the textbook. That's why I was saying it's not about getting one textbook. You cannot be citing one textbook 10 times. You
Mhm.
understand? So it's good to spend time in the library and so that any book you need, just go and get it
Yeah.
and then put it in your EndNote. You must know how to use EndNote or Zotero or any of the articles so that you cannot just be doing manual. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So
All
I
right.
was trying to
Thank
show
you.
you the books. Where is it now? Where is that place now? The books on research methodology that you need to read. At least now I've given you a background. I'm not the one holding you now. This is number 1. Go and get it. So if you are doing a review of quantitative studies, this is a book to go. 9 copies. Go and borrow them before the other people go and finish. Go and borrow it. That's number 1. How is it? Uh-huh. Then I also read this book. When I was trying to understand. This is good. 18 of 21 copies are available. So get it. Just you are not reading to finish. You just select the things I've discussed now. Select it and read. That's all. And then reference it in your proposal. You understand? So this one has 18 of 21 copies. This is where it is. You can copy it out. This floor 2, 300.72. Qualitative dissertation methodology. Even this one I didn't even read this. So this is only 3 copies. People have borrowed it too. See? There's only one copy available. So you can rush and borrow it before it finishes. Okay, so uh, let me see which other one again that you can borrow. This other one is when you have started your dissertation. David Silverman is a very good author. So he's also one of the is core. So this one is when you are writing when you have finished. That's like when you are now writing. This one now is I read now. There are 4 copies available. People have borrowed 2 already. Okay. Then, if you're looking at literature, if you want to read literature review, how to do a literature review? I don't know. Is there any one that's remaining? Okay, this is an online book. Just okay. Then, I told you that this John Criswell is a very good author. He has written many books on that. So now you want to there is enough copies, so you cannot say you don't know what to read now. Research design, qualitative, quantitative, and mixed method. So what you are doing now, you are not doing quantitative research, I know. Yeah. So you are doing qualitative. I don't know. It's my own opinion. Go and find out from your. So this book has 30 copies. So you don't have any excuse not to get at least 25 in your proposal if you are joined this tutorial today. I've given you all the secrets. So you still have books available. So people have borrowed menu anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. So rush and borrow the book before it finishes, okay? Because you have to wait for others. So borrow it, okay? All right, so we'll stop here. The videos for you to watch. Go to your YouTube channel. Okay, so just type in my name, Anthony Uwandu. Just type Anthony Uwandu-uzoma to come out. Then look at this book. Look at this video here. This particular one. Yeah, how to search for research topic using the right keywords. It's not any keyword you come up. You go and watch it. Open it and watch it. And then, because if you chat me and what you're asking is something I've already done in the video, I'll tell you to go and watch the video. Okay, so open it and then get systematic reviews on your topic, maybe 3 or 4. Check the keywords so that you get all the keywords and then use it for your research. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I hope this session was very, very
Sorry, I have a
eye-opening.
question. It's like
Yeah,
you did not acknowledge.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for all your time and everything. Please, if you are referencing someone and
Yeah.
you wanted to reference him, you search for the original author. But get to the original author, you find out that the original author referenced somebody else.
No. I said that when you get the original author now,
Yes.
you are reading what the idea of the original author said. You are trying to paraphrase the idea of the original author.
Okay.
You are not paraphrasing the idea of that first author, the first textbook that you read, though.
Okay.
Yeah. So if the author there's not how you read a book and you will not see the opinion of the author. You will see the opinion of the author. You paraphrase it. If the author is quoting somebody else again, you trace it again. That is why it is research.
Okay.
Okay. You trace that's how it is. You continue to move around, and updating your endnotes. Before you know it, you have 300 to 200 references. Okay. So at least that will be enough for today. So learn how to use your this thing. Thematic reviews can help you to get keywords.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
God bless you
See
too.
you guys next time.
We are grateful.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I'm saying thank you.
Thank you, Onyinye. Is it Onyinye that is saying? Who is talking?